Hey friends, my name is Eling and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be talking to you guys about what I've learned in the past 3 months after posting consistently on YouTube. So before we jumped into what I've learned in the past 3 months, I thought it would be good to give a little bit of background about myself. I am a self-proclaimed YouTube girly. I don't have a Threads, I don't have a TikTok. All I have is a Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. YouTube is probably the social media platform that I actually consume the most of. And to be honest, I've loved YouTube for a very long time. But I've been here lurking for a long time. And 2024 finally came the point where I wanted to start something. And even better, I chose probably the hardest niche to get into, lifestyle vlogging. So my first video dropped about my dog Coco in December of 2024. And then since then, it has been 3 months where I have posted a video every single week. So now that you know a little bit about myself, let's jump into the 3 main things I learned after starting a YouTube channel. So my first tip is just start. No, just kidding. That's so basic. I feel like every channel that is telling you how to start a YouTube channel has that as their first tip, just start. But I think you guys already know that. My first tip for anyone looking to start a YouTube channel is to just keep going. I am just an ordinary girl. I knew nothing about cameras, nothing about audio, nothing about editing before I decided to start this journey. So needless to say, my first video, and even my videos now, take me a lot of time to film and edit. And in that, the learning curve is just pretty steep. Like you're filming your video, you're editing your video, somewhere in the editing process you question if this video will even get any views. And so my advice is to just keep going, because you never know what's gonna make it on YouTube. When you start a YouTube, all the processes like filming and editing seem so difficult. So the barrier of entry into YouTube is actually quite high, right? It probably took me upwards of 40 hours, like a literal work week, to film and edit my first video with my dog Coco. Especially in the beginning when you post your first couple of videos, like to be quite honest, they're probably not gonna be good, and you're probably going to get less than 100 views. So it becomes very disheartening when you're putting in these hours of work for these videos and like 20 people are watching it. But that's why my advice is you just have to keep going. And it honestly just takes one video becoming a little bit popular for YouTube to realize who your audience is and start pushing out your content through the algorithm. For example, when I first started YouTube, you can see a lot of my initial videos have literally less than 50 views. But after my Chinese New Year's video was put out, which is my most popular video so far on YouTube, my videos afterwards are starting to get more consistent views. It might also be because it's all focused around Asia content, and right now everyone is really interested in watching Asia travel vlogs. But hey, I would have never gotten more views if I just stopped making videos altogether. And I think another comment with my first tip of keep going is that you have to actually like doing this. Like I said, it takes hours and hours to make content. And if you don't enjoy doing it and you're just trying to start YouTube to get monetized and quit your 9-to-5 job, it's just going to be very difficult. Like there is such a small percentage of YouTubers that actually make a livable income. So to try to start a YouTube for just financial independence, I don't really think it's a great idea. And so when you're spending hours making videos on top of your normal 9-to-5, you really have to like it. So just remember that, make sure your motives are good and that you actually enjoy making YouTube videos before you start. So that is my first tip, just keep going. You never know what video may get picked up by the YouTube algorithm and make your channel start to grow. My next tip for making YouTube videos is that you have to be scrappy. I'm not gonna lie, guys. It can be pretty expensive to start YouTube as a hobby. If you're just starting making YouTube videos as a hobby, you need to have a poor man's setup. We don't got the expendable income to spend hundreds of dollars on video and audio and lighting equipment. So this advice is like kind of basic because I feel like all the other YouTube videos also say this, but just start with your phone. Just make sure that you really like doing this before you shell out the big bucks to upgrade your setup. And even I kind of fell into the trap of trying to upgrade my setup preemptively because I also bought a wireless mic when I started YouTube as well. And that was not cheap. I started my YouTube channel with just my phone camera and using DaVinci Resolve as my editing software, the free version. Like I said, you gotta be scrappy. You can't be spending money on Final Cut Pro when you don't know if this is gonna be a real thing or not. I actually think one of my barriers for entry for YouTube was I had thought that I had to use Final Cut Pro to edit because every other YouTuber that I watched used Final Cut Pro. But I remember at the time I was watching a smaller YouTuber named Tofu Goob, and in her description it said that she used DaVinci Resolve, the free version, and I thought to myself, I can edit a video for free? Obviously, I didn't do enough research because there are a lot of free editing softwares, but when I saw that video, I thought, it's time to start my YouTube journey. I used the free version of DaVinci Resolve to actually edit my first 10 videos. I've since updated to the studio version because I thought I would get more benefit out of the voice isolation feature. It's okay. When you turn on the voice isolation, I feel like a lot more of my videos sound a little bit more robotic. So for anyone thinking about buying the studio version of DaVinci Resolve just for voice isolation, I don't think it's completely worth it. Even though I have the studio version of DaVinci Resolve right now, I do truly think that I could have kept going with my YouTube career with just the free version, especially if you're smart and upgrade your audio. And then my last comment is that you should try to utilize free trials. So again, the barrier of entry for YouTube is very high. And so to some extent, you do need to try to find tools that make it easier for you to just make a video and put out content. So when I first started, finding background music and making thumbnails were also a new skill that I had to learn. And I just knew that I wanted to kind of like reduce the friction with these things. So I did start a free trial of Epidemic Sound and Canva when I started my YouTube channel. And I truly think these tools have really eased the process of making YouTube videos for me and have helped me actually stay consistent. Again, I want to emphasize, you should start with a free trial to make sure that you actually like this. You'll get a month of free music from Epidemic Sound, and then you can also get a month to edit thumbnails with Canva Pro. And you can use this month to decide if you actually want to keep these tools and continue to pay for them. Ultimately, only you are the one that can decide what you need to start your channel. But all in all, my first couple of YouTube videos were essentially free for me to create because I was using my iPhone camera and these free trials of these softwares. But that's my second tip, guys. You gotta be scrappy, you gotta be cheap, you gotta be resourceful, and you need to make sure that this is something that you actually want to keep doing before you shell out hundreds of dollars to upgrade your setup. And my third and final tip, which I still don't do very well, is you actually have to plan some of your videos. I thought to myself, I watch so much vlogging content. I don't have to plan. I know exactly what to do to make people watch. Wrong. You kind of want a skeleton of at least what you want your video to look like, because otherwise you're kind of just aimlessly piecing together content in the edit, and it kind of makes the video a little bit disjoint. Remember, no one really cares who you are in the beginning, so if you're not able to piece your content together in a cohesive story, they're more likely to click away. And even now, I'm still not very good at this. One thing that really helped was to research a little bit beforehand on YouTube. I would search keywords or titles of my own video and see what titles were popular, what thumbnails were popular, and I would basically mimic them for my videos. And I think that is one piece of advice that every new YouTuber should do, because ultimately, if you can't get people to click your video, they're not going to watch it. I think the title and the thumbnail is quite possibly the most important part of your video. I'll be the first to admit I'm still not great at planning. I try to use Notion because I'm a basic bitch and all the other YouTubers seem to use Notion as well. In the end, I still only kind of like halfway plan videos, so apologies if my videos seem very disjoint. And I think one last tip I have, which may go against what other people say, is when you first start, I do think you need to film as much as you possibly can. Especially if you're doing vlogging content, the way to keep people's attention is to have a lot of these like short, quick cuts. And if you don't have enough video footage, it's just hard to make a YouTube video that's like longer than 5 minutes with all of your content. So one thing I learned after editing the first couple of my videos is I just started to take out my phone and film as much as I could. Before, it was very difficult for me to get a rough cut of my video to even like 8 minutes. Now I'm able to get my rough cut above 10 minutes, so when I have to actually cut out parts of the video because they don't make sense or they're boring, I'm still able to keep my video at a respectable time. So that's my tip. You gotta plan and just film as much as you can so you can use it during the edit. So those are my top 3 tips I learned after making YouTube videos consistently for the past 3 months. If you're a small creator like me or just started making videos, let me know in the comments what you've learned in your first couple of months on YouTube. If you're a YouTube consumer like me, let me know in the comments how I can improve the videos so you'll keep watching. And if you liked this video and it helped you, please like and subscribe. Although it shouldn't, it does give me the positive affirmation to keep going and continue this YouTube journey. Thanks for watching. Bye.